Like, we started selling this product out of the trunk of our cars.
Don't be afraid to fail.
Inventory management is about balance.
Get the product out. That's number one.
I've always preached sustainable growth.
So we just started building community.
Look at the data.
Product development is everything.
Yeah, we say we're a brick, click, and pop.
But you have to love what you do.
Really excited to be here. We have a really great second half of the virtual meetup today with some really good speakers. If there's any questions that I miss as we're reading them out later on, again, as Scott mentioned, just put them in the Merchant Mastery group. And we're going to try and get through as many questions as we can. If we miss anything, we'll be answering them in there. So my first speaker today, his name is Marco. Marco is the Agency Partnerships Manager at Privy. So for those of you that may not have heard of Privy before, they provide lots of different tools, education, and support for e-commerce brands to help them grow online. They're used by some 250,000 stores in 180 countries worldwide right now. So Marco, I'm going to unmute you here.
Hello. Hey, Ivana.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Good. So Marco, did you want to, I'll let you jump in and introduce yourself and Privy and share some of what you guys do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. Really excited to be a part of the team here. So I work at Privy. Privy's been around for quite a while. Myself, my background is in the agency world and recently came to Privy to help manage partnerships. And, you know, agencies leverage a lot of different tools for their clients, for their projects. And sometimes it's a little bit crazy trying to juggle, you know, a dozen different apps within your Shopify or BigCommerce project. And so I just help my partners better leverage the tool. Happy to chat about the product, but I think more importantly, really want to focus on, the situation that we're all in right now, and particularly how you can continue to engage your consumers and your customers even when shopping might not be top of mind. Obviously, shopping's, the main topic of the webinar and how everyone's handling it. So at Privy, we have a few 100,000 customers. We actually just crossed 500,000 a month or two ago. And so we're seeing quite a bit. We're constantly interviewing our merchants and our customers on podcasts, for blogs, and just always getting feedback and information from them with our customer success team. So I figured I'd share a couple things. One would be kind of how we're dealing with it as a company. I think it's a helpful perspective. And then how we're seeing some customers do it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here and get it presented. Does this look all right, Ivana? Once it loads?
Yeah, it's loading.
Okay, awesome. Again, won't talk too much about the product because, again, it's not the main focus here. But if anyone wants to reach out to me after the conversation, I'm happy to chat. My email is just marco@privy.com. But Privy is mainly an e-commerce marketing platform. And that's why we have so many hundreds of thousands of customers and help small, growing, and even large e-commerce businesses with that. So how do you keep your customers engaged when shopping might not necessarily be top of mind? So again, focusing on kind of our perspective, and then I'll look at the e-commerce merchant side of things. I think the first, key point that I want to hit on is to not be tone deaf. I know Scott said it earlier today as well. You need to make sure that you're being empathetic and that you're always trying to really, lead with value and add value to whoever it is your audience is. We all are in a crazy, unprecedented time right now, and we need to make sure that we lead and address that and hit any concerns before you get into anything that you want to talk about, whatever it is. So our CMO, Dave, had a couple good posts that I thought they resonated with me and with a lot of his community, and thought they would be good to share. So I'll quickly read them. Sales and marketing people have jobs too right now. There's empathy needed for that side. Keep selling, keep marketing. Just do it after acknowledging the state of the world right now and realizing that the same playbook you used a month ago probably needs to be updated or thrown in the trash. And another post that he wrote, now's the time to make your marketing so good that it's a welcome distraction, not another annoying email. So this really speaks to being empathetic, addressing the situation, making sure that you are leading with that, but then following up with ways that you can help whatever your customers are doing, whatever their situation is, how your product can kind of fit in a way that it's going to help them take their mind off things and get them to better times. So just some examples what we're doing in that regard. So Privy, we've pivoted really quickly to try and get this type of content out in front of our audience, and our audience is all the e-commerce merchants out there. And so, a couple titles for the blogs that we've put out, this is just in the past week and a half, where e-commerce marketers should spend their time if their customers aren't buying, or why this brand's response to COVID-19 turned me into a lifelong customer, or why now's the time to focus on your existing customers. Just good examples of the type of content and the focus you want to take as a business to make sure that you're prioritizing what's top of mind for your audience. And it might not always be shopping right now, but you can get them into that path once you really address the situation through empathy. And what's really important too is that particularly now, not everything's going to have an immediate ROI. And so, this is a time to be more human than ever and more generous than ever, in my opinion. And so, in marketing, there's a lot of things that they're hard to measure, and not everything is going to generate an ROI. Obviously, when you're doing paid media for an e-commerce business, it's a little bit different. It's a little easier to track return on investment, return on ad spend. But sometimes the things that don't traditionally drive an ROI, it might just have a value add to your business. And so what we did is we're really trying to live our brand ethos right now more than ever. So our mission as a company is to help e-commerce businesses grow, period. And so what we built was a directory essentially for small businesses. And we put this together in less than a week. And we already have over 2,500 small businesses that have applied, and we've gotten their listing up on the site. The whole purpose is to help them get more traffic and drive more sales to their site right now. This is, imperative time for a lot of small businesses. They'll either make it or they won't through this. If we can help even get them a little extra traffic, even a couple extra sales, then we've done our job and we're living our brand mission. They don't have to be a Privy customer or user or even know who we are, but we want to help them. And so this is a good example of what we're doing as a company. And will this have an ROI one day? We have no idea, but that's really not where our head's at with this. So I think that a lot of people have the opportunity to, make a similar play like this and just go out and help people, because that's what people will remember. And that's how you're going to have a long, sustainable brand. So to kind of pivot away from what we're doing as a product company and to look at what merchants are doing. So while I work with agencies, I end up working with all of their clients and their customers, and I have a background in this myself. And so I think that we have a couple key lessons here. Some of these things you can do with Privy, and I'm happy to explain, but again, that's not the main purpose of this presentation. So first and foremost, as I said earlier, with our marketing for e-commerce merchants, it's really, really critical that you address the situation very, very clearly. Wherever people are going to be interacting with your brand and your products, you want to make sure it's front and center what's going on right now, because everyone's thinking it. So if you can address something before an objection or a question comes up, you're going to have a much higher likelihood of actually getting a new customer, getting an email address or something like that. So whether it's a bar on your site or a display on your site, or within the marketing messaging and within your social media posts, whatever it is, make sure that you are letting people know, can you accept orders now or not? Should they expect delays or not? If there's a promotion, how does that affect fulfillment? How does that affect deliverability? Things like that. Whatever it is, whatever the situation is, just be transparent and upfront, because these are times where people are more willing to accept a delay or something going on, and they want to still give you business, right? Even if there's something happening that's going to make things a little bit weird and wonky. We're all more understanding now, I think, than ever as consumers. So address it up front and make sure that people know what's going on. And huge theme these days is focusing on existing customers. There's a lot of uncertainty right now in the paid media world. And while it's still very fruitful and there's a lot that you can do to gain sales and to gain customers, this is a really great time to focus on who's already bought from you. Your email database is probably one of the best places to do this. You've already spent the money and time to convert them once before, if not more. So continue to look at that and really, over-invest in your time and your attention and your dollars into email marketing right now. It's not going to cost you anything to communicate with them because you've already gotten their email and you've probably already gotten their business before. This is going to go a lot farther than if you're going to be spending time and money in the paid media world, where it's going to cost more money to get them over the line. And sort of in a similar, mindset is to double down on what is working. If you're seeing success in something, whether it's focusing on email, whether it's a specific ad or creative that for whatever reason you guys tried out and is working really, really well, this is the time right now to capitalize on that. You don't know for how long there's going to be consistency in whatever you're doing or your business or your consumers' mindsets and their shopping habits. There's a lot changing right now very, very rapidly. So if things are working and you still have resources and you're still fulfilling and you have inventory and everything like that, double down on it, because again, you don't know for how long that's going to be working for you and for your audience, and focus on that and make that the priority. With that said, if there is flexibility in resources and time and budget, things like that, don't be afraid to test things out. As there's a lot of people on their phones and on their computers right now working from home, doing way less out and about, there's a lot more screen time happening. So if you're running tests on your site, whether it's an A/B test or you're A/B testing new ads and creative or emails or whatever it is, test everything you can, because you're going to get a much faster analysis, because you're going to get more traffic and more eyeballs on it. And you're going to be able to see what's moving the needle more than the other alternative. And that can make, a huge difference in your success with whatever it is that you're testing out. Again, it can be a display on your site, it could be ads, it could be emails, but this is a great opportunity. Even small incremental, single percentage or double percentage difference can be thousands, if not more, in sales or, in new emails, what have you. We just interviewed a merchant the other day that's a Privy user, and we wrote a blog about it. It's on our site, who just decided to test some of the CTAs in their ads and their creative. So this is a quote: "We have switched our sales approach from a buy now message to a message filled with optimism and that better days are ahead. Sales have increased by over 500%. And these people, they don't sell toilet paper or essential products. They sell volleyball nets. They're like 4-way volleyball nets. Nobody's going out and playing volleyball at the beach. Most beaches are locked down right now. So this isn't anything that has to do necessarily with a result of the pandemic, but a result of how they've pivoted their own marketing, things that they're testing to be able to better resonate with their consumers and play a more optimistic approach." And one of the last things I wanted to mention is, in the same vein of testing, is get creative. Whatever you have to do right now to drive sales and revenue, get creative and try and figure it out. One of the best ways to do that is by adding value. So what we see a lot of users at Privy doing on their site particularly and within their marketing are different offers. And how do you get people's attention, and how do you get them to consider buying right now once you address the situation? So there's a few different things. I put discounting last because I don't usually like to lead with that. I think, it depends on the brand, obviously, but you want to be cautious of conditioning your consumers and your list to discounts. So I put it last here, but it is an important one. But I lead with, talk about shipping, and maybe there's ways to do expedited shipping right now. I think there's a big opportunity where Amazon is not prioritizing essential orders. You as a direct-to-consumer brand have an opportunity to beat Amazon in fulfillment, which is kind of rare. So maybe talk about expedited shipping. or a free gift with a purchase, for example, is a really great way to get somebody over the finish line without necessarily giving a discount or something like that. Or a bundling, approach is always good too. Can you maybe increase your average order value a little bit, pair 2 or 3 products together, clear out more inventory, and add a little sort of discount for bundling and for making a larger purchase. And then of course discounts, but I always suggest to tread with caution. Maybe A/B test, no discount and a discount. Just try not to offer it up too often. Otherwise your consumers and your lists are going to get really used to it, and they're just going to wait for that to buy. So at the end of the day, we're all human. We're still open to communication from brands and from merchants and products like Privy. You can't be afraid to engage them. You have to go out and hit it. You just need to do it with empathy, with heart, with passion. And if you genuinely approach your content and your marketing in that way, then I think you're setting yourselves up to succeed, and you're going to get people to open up and to take a look and to, consider either signing up or making a purchase or something like that. If, there's anything that I can help you with, or if you want to learn more about Privy and Privy's technology to, set up displays or bars, banners, emails and text, I'm happy to chat with you, or you can just go to our site, privy.com, and you can learn more there. That's everything that I wanted to share for that presentation.
Thanks, Marco. I know you sent me the presentation yesterday, and I took a quick look through it, and I thought there was so much good info in that. I was really excited for you to come on here and share that, because it's not many slides, but it's jam-packed with all kinds of good information.
Thanks. Yeah, I tried to keep it simple.
Especially the Shop Small initiative, I thought that was a really, really great thing Privy was doing. How many merchants do you guys have on there right now?
I think we have over 2,500 merchants who have applied and who we've gotten listed. And what's cool too, we didn't really plan on it, but once we got it set up, merchants asked if they could do like a special promotion. So we're listing all of the merchants, we're categorizing them by what sort of industry they fall in. And then if they have a special promotion for the Shop Small initiative, it's listed right there. So it's a really nice way to help highlight some small businesses and get them a little bit of extra traffic.
And how would somebody become part of that, if anybody who's watching today wants to join?
Yeah, totally. So you can just go to shopsmallecom with 2 M's.com. And on the top right, there's going to be a submit button. And you could just fill out a couple little fields, 5 or 10 questions just about, your site, your business, so that we can properly get it displayed on the site. And within a couple days, we should have it live.
Awesome. So I'll share the link in the chat box a little bit later today, so that people can go and check it out. And I like that you quoted Dave as well. I follow him on LinkedIn too, and he's got lots of good nuggets of information every day on marketing. So if anybody is interested in that, follow him. He's got some really good info. So
yeah, we're very lucky to have him, as our CMO and as a leader at the company. But before his time at Privy, he's built a really great brand around marketing, and he's one of the best to follow for sure. And I think him, he's really living all of the way that he posts and he talks about content and marketing. He just has great examples, and everything that he's talking about, you can see in action at Privy. So it's very genuine and very real and really actionable. So easy to take some LinkedIn screenshots and, take some credit for it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, if anybody has any questions for Marco, feel free to put them in the Q&A box, and we'll go through some of them at the end after Soma presents. So Marco, if you can stick around, we'll circle back around and answer any questions that people have.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So I'm just going to mute you for now and introduce our next presenter. So thanks, Marco.
Yeah, thank you.